Muscarelle in the house. Virtual art camp. Do not attempt to adjust your computer screens, because we are in there. Hey folks, my name is Steve Prince, and I'm the Director of Engagement at the Muscarelle Museum at William and Mary. Hey, we have a wonderful show lined up for you today. Today we're going to continue our exploration in doing perspective drawing. How to make things appear to pop out and emerge from the page. We have been going on the exploration of 1 point perspective, but guess what, folks? There's more points to explore. We're going to step it up, and we're going to go to 2 point perspective. So you ready for the journey? I see you. So you know what you need to do. We need to get us some materials. And all you would basically need is a pencil, and number 2 or softer. You're going to need paper of any size, and you're going to need an eraser. And remember, the eraser is not for fixing messed up mistakes and so forth. The eraser is for adjusting and getting to that final resolution in the terms of the creation of our drawing. Okay? So, let's get our stuff together. Let's get ready. Get our paper and so forth lined up. Oh, I know you're feeling so good. You're feeling so happy today. Come on. It's time to make some art, y'all. Come on, you're in the right place. Now, one of the key things we want to remember, and I've quizzed you about this before. Does anybody happen to remember what the name of that imaginary line that exists out in space is called? I knew you would get it. See how smart you are? Yes, it is called the horizon line. And the horizon line is that imaginary line that exists out in space as we look straight out from wherever we are situated. So if you're seated and you look straight out into space, then that is your horizon line. But if you stand and you look straight out into space and your eye is parallel to the ground, oh, you have it again, folks. That is your horizon line. So in the making of our drawing, we need to make sure that we establish that horizon line on our paper. And so I'm going to put the line about midway on the paper. Okay, here we go. So remember, lock your wrist and pull it straight across. Keep it nice and fluid all the way across your paper. It wavered a little bit. That's okay. I'm just going to straighten it out just a little bit more until I get it. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if some people say, hey, the line's a little too wavery, you know that you can use that magical thing that exists maybe inside of your toolbox, and it is called a ruler. And that can help you get that line nice and straight. But I like to use my eye and make it as firm and across there as I possibly can. All right, so what you need to do, you're gonna make a vertical line right here, and you're gonna make a vertical line right here, okay? Now, that being your horizon line, you put one of those vertical lines above the horizon line and one of those lines below the horizon line. Now, remember I said we're not doing a 1 point perspective, we're going to do a 2 point perspective drawing. So we can begin to see how an object shifts and changes in space. Okay? So, if we were to put 1 point over here, and 1 point over here, those will be very important points to help us to make this illusion. Okay? Are you ready? So, from the top or the apex of that vertical mark that we put there, we're going to pull a line down to that point over to the left. So pull it, lock your wrist, pull it down to that spot. And then we're going to do from the same point up top, from the apex, and we're going to pull it all the way down to the other point. See that? Lock the wrist and you make that line. Then we're going to go from the bottom of that same vertical bar and we're going to drop that one all the way down over here. And then we're going to take this one and we're going to go down the opposite direction. Lock the wrist. Remember to lock it. Pull all the way down. Okay? Some of you are probably seeing it already. Now there's a couple more things we got to do. This is the part where it gets a little tricky. So if this is one side of our box that we're going to create, and that's the opposite side of the box, we need to kind of give it a wavelength. We need to end it somewhere. So let's end it, let's say about right here. And let's go to the opposite side and do the same thing. Now, what's very key about ending is that you want to make sure this vertical is lined up with that one and this one. All of them should line up. Now, in order to make the bottom of the box, you have to do something very particular. So you want to take from this point right here, and if you go back the same direction, it really doesn't do anything. So if you take this point right here and go the opposite direction, oh, now we're getting at something. We start to create the bottom. And if you take from this side and go the other way, and boom, right in the space, you feel it? Pull it back and forth. And then check it out. You go back and you accentuate that line, accentuate, it means to make darker, bolder, accentuate that line, and then get this one going. Get that one. Get that one there, and pull this one on up, and pull that one on up. Look what we have, folks. You have a cube in space. Look at it, looks like a giant ice cube about to fall from the heavens. All right, so you got it. So let's see, that one is above the horizon line. Let's work on this one down below the horizon line. So we're gonna take from this top point right here, or the apex, and we're gonna pull towards the right. And we're going to take from the apex and we're going to pull towards the left. And then we're going to go down to the bottom part of that vertical mark right here. And we're going to pull up to the right. And we're going to pull up to the left. Remember, let's end this box. Let's give it an ending point right here and right here. And then to finish it off, to get the top of the box, you need to pull from this point, pull across to that point, and go from this point and pull across to that point over there. And then go back, and what's that magical word? That's right, accentuate, make darker. So I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna pull that line up, make it nice and rich. Pull this one across, pull that one across. Oh yes, making it nice and rich. Oh, it's getting so beautiful, so pulchritudinous. All right, pull it on up, pull it across, and pull it across. And there you have a cube. You see how you made that? So we got one look like it's floating high in space and one is sitting down on the ground. And if you want to make it stand out a little bit more, let's play around with a little bit of shadow. So we take our pencil and we're going to take our pencil. In my case, I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to darken down below by putting some little lines that follow along the same angle of the form down below. And if I want to make it a little bit darker, I can cross-hatch those marks and run them across each other just like that. And now I have the box floating in space. And if I want to see, like this one's casting a shadow on top of that one, then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to run this across. And I'm going to come back the opposite way and cross-hatch those into place. See how that works? Oh, I'm going to take it a step further. So let's say I got a light coming from over here and it's casting over there. So I'm going to put a little bit of shadow on this side of my box. And then I'm going to pull this line, this point from right here. I'm going to pull this line out. And I'm going to pull this line out. Just like that. And then from here, to finish the shadow off, I'm going to pull it back over here just like that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of shading. And a little bit more shading. Make sure it's a little bit darker than the actual box. And you got the shadow coming off of there. And there you have it. You have this box, like this light coming over here that's casting the shadow down onto the ground. Isn't that amazing? So folks, you have just been exposed to 2-point perspective. All right? So next week, or next class, what I'm going to share with you is, I'm going to show you how to make something a little bit more complex than these boxes. We're going to make a house. and 2-point perspective with a roof and a front door and the windows on the side, and it's gonna look absolutely fantastic. So come back on Friday when we get ready to go into the next chapter of taking a 2-point perspective and doing something a little bit more complex. All right? So folks, remember, art is all around you. Muscarelle in the house. Virtual Art Camp